There are a few men in the video game industry that have left impacts that can't be questioned. Tim Schafer, Miyamoto, Cliffy B, Frank O'Connor, and the godfather of simulation games, Will Wright. While Wright's sim titles were all wildly successful, his The Sims series was really what made him a household name. Now in 2003, this game series had its first title that wasn't available on the PC with The Sims Bustin Out, an interesting attempt to add some spice to the series with free roaming and more choice. However, many people forget that this was also on the Game Boy Advance, and it is freaking sweet. This is The Sims Bustin' Out. The Sims Bustin' Out has a very interesting premise. Your character is going to Sim Valley for summer vacation, and it's up to you to get him or her a job, a significant other, and general respect throughout the city. Now, while most of the games in the series focus on simply staying alive and thriving, this is an afterthought in Bustin' Out. Instead, this plays more like an adventure game as you find new items and complete different goals, as opposed to just focusing on making sure your character has enough to eat and doesn't shit his pants. That's not to say that you still don't have to do those things, but they don't play as big of a role as they did in past editions. Now, the story is a little bit hard to explain, because as with most of the Sims games, you can do whatever you want. The game really is yours to mold, but it's best described as a mix between coming of age and science fiction. There's nuclear rods, spaceships, girlfriends, and odd jobs, and yes, I know those all sound very different from each other. You can do these at your own pace, and it might be more fun for some people to just explore the town and not even worry about goals. In addition to the general exploration, Bustin' Out also features a variety of mini-games that you can use to get your character money. There's a lot of these, such as science research and bartending, but the original lawn mowing game actually appears to be the best for acquiring quick cash. Being that this is a video game, you also don't get sweaty. Visually, The Sims Bustin' Out is really impressive. The game was released in 2003, making it one of the later Game Boy Advance titles, but it could easily pass as a DS game. Cutscenes aren't very common, but the ones that are included are extremely crisp and clean. Graphics during gameplay aren't quite as polished, but they still have a charming look that suits the series perfectly, such as the exaggerated facial expressions and movements. Audio is a little bit harder to gauge as there isn't any dialogue. The Simlish that is known by gamers is not really in this game, as most of this is done through text. However, music and sound effects have a nice quirkiness that feels right at home in the series. Hearing the groan of your uncle after you say something stupid can get a little bit annoying though. Now, if there's one thing in The Sims Bustin' Out that I don't care for, it's the controls. They aren't terrible, they aren't like Paperboy 64, but they are really sensitive. You'll find yourself flying left and right on the scooter or on foot, and although you will get used to it, it can get pretty annoying. The Sims Bustin' Out is one of only a few ports that does not feel like it's been watered down for the transition. Granted, this has been done by making it pretty much a different game, but since it's this good, I'm just fine with that. If only the recent portable Sims games were like this.